What the hell is this keck bald, man? Delete this emote. Self-reflection. Can this card have a different name, please? Oi, lads. Any gnome enjoyers? This card's nice, no? Good start. The market gnome. When it dies, you gain 1 life and draw a card. That's pretty good. You should get a Llanowar Elf VTuber setup. Dude, I don't know how do you do that, man. VTubing, is that what it's called? VTubing. That blows my mind, dude. How the hell do you set that up? I'd like to VTube as Nissa. It is an artifact, it is a gnome, and it does draw a card. Like this thing seems really nice and constructed. In draft, I mean, it's got to be good there too, no? Seems just insano. You can't tell the difference between common and uncommon set symbols. I can tell the difference between common and uncommon. I can't tell the difference between common and rare. The rares just look like commons. It's weird. An actually terrible set symbol. But you can look down here, so it says U, right? Uncommon. This is where I've had to start looking. I like to look at the set symbol more, but you know, ruined. Yeah, that gnome seems good in like sack decks, right? Weird for a sack creature to be in white though, but whatever. What the hell is this keck bald, man? Delete this emote. Self-reflection. Can this card have a different name, please? Oh man. Fuck off. Keck bald. Okay, 4 for a sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Flashback has flashed back. Card is bad, of course. Bat Cavern. 2 in a dub for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a token. Create a token with flying for each mana spent from a cave used to cast this spell. Whenever a cave enters the battlefield under your control, put a counter on target creature you control. 3 mana, make 3 flyers. Seems bad. If you have 3 caves, right? But the caves are all tap lands, right? I think caves will be like 1 or 2 ofs in decks, or 0 ofs. You can't play a deck with only caves. You gotta play it. That shows you how good Wedding Announcement is, huh? You have to play a deck with only caves just to be able to play an enchantment that's still worse than Wedding Announcement. Crazy. That is a sick and flavorful payoff for caves. Useless Wedding Announcement better? Hector. Why you gotta spoil all the fun, man? Good job Hector doesn't stream, right? Imagine killing the hype like that. This is why I'm the streamer. I keep the hype flowing. Bat Cavern is absolutely insane. Whoa! Just play both line? I guess you can play both, but the thing you can't even... There's only 5 caves, right? And they're all monocolor. You can't even play a deck with only caves. Aren't the caves those ones where one color enter tapped and then you can sack them to discover? Those are the caves, no? Dowsing Device and Geode Grotto. Whenever Dowsing Device or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, up to 1 target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until the end of turn. Then transform Dowsing Device if you control 4 or more artifacts. Geode Grotto is tap to add a red. 3 tap until end of turn, target creature gains haste and gets +X/+0, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Activate only as a sorcery. But you have to transform it even if you don't want to. That's weird. So you transform if you have 4 or more artifacts. 1 creature gets +1/+0 and haste when this or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control. I mean, this thing is good, no? If you're playing like a artifact aggro deck, Like ginger brutes and automatons and I don't know, whatever, like flesh gorger for black, surge engine for blue, that kind of thing. Until end of turn, creature gets haste and plus X+O, where X is the number of artifacts you control. I mean, it is a bit shit on curve, to be fair, but it could be decent, man. Could be decent. The shell for it doesn't exist yet. I don't know if that's true, man. It's a big old standard, remember? Like, there's a lot of decent artifacts. I guess it would probably be, I don't know, Grill maybe. Remember, we've got Automaton, you know, you've got Wormlet, you've got, I don't know, what else you got? I don't think Anvil wants that, man. It's too slow for Anvil, right? Because Anvil's already very slow deck. You don't want Anvil doesn't want more cards that are slow. It wants fast cards that can help it buy the time it needs to get rocking and rolling, huh? 1 mana artifact. This will decide what colours it is. You got Skrelv. The lookout's pretty good, right? If you're playing, especially if you're playing an artifact deck, you got some more benefits. Blue has Moonsnare Prototype, Haywire Might, Hotshot Mechanic, huh? Ginger Brute. Yeah, I guess an artifact aggro deck really needs more 1-drops, huh? There's some decent ones there, but nothing amazing. I do think this card would be very good in a deck like that, though. We'll see if we're able to actually make the deck in the end. When Clayfire Bricks enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic plains, reveal it, gain 2 life. And then craft for 7, make 2 gnomes, and pump the whole team. Craft 7, huh? It's a lot of mana. Dude, Wedding Announcement has just ruined, like, all of these cards forever, huh? Because they're all just shit wedding announcements. It's sad. Pathfinding Axejaw. This art is weird, man. This looks like a alchemy card. This is alchemy art. The alchemy cards are all like more like vibrant colors than magic cards. Other magic cards are. This looks like an alchemy card, man. ETB Explore. Yeah, like where's the just there's something's weird about it, man. Restless Ventrilos. Red black creature land. For 3, it's a 2/3 menace, and when it attacks, you may discard if you do draw a card. Classic Rakdos getting the best one. Like, could Wizards ever print a card that's not best in Rakdos colours? Impossible challenge. I mean, it's a creature land, right? It's a good one. It'll be in almost every deck that's in the colours. The Enterprising Scallywag. That's what they call me when I walk down the street. So many creature lands. It's only 5, right? Oh, no, I guess it's 10 in total now, though. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, create a treasure token. You have descended if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. Pretty bad. Earthshaker Dreadmaw. ATB, draw a card for each other dinosaur that you control. This card is crazy. Is it? Seems bad. The Return of the King. It's not winning games immediately or breaking formats and families alike. Families? That's a bit sinister. Oh, breaking families. But it's a nice nod to the original. Yeah, it seems bad. Resplendent Angel, huh? I mean, we all know what this card does, right? Reprint? Yes. This set has like 20 reprints in. That's a card. This card is just mega cringe, man. Honestly, you gotta be a serial killer to put this card in your deck. It's like, so lame. I'm not even gonna give it the time of day. Just skip me. Let's move on to the Unterer Disher Shoner. 2 mana for an artifact Farzug. Immer wenn der Unterirdische Schoner angreift, erkunde ein Creature deiner Wahl, die in diesem Zug bemannt hat. Decke die oberste Karte deiner Bibliothek auf. Falls die Karte an landest, nimm sie auf deine Hand. Leggy, Sonst ein +1/+1 Mark of Jean, Creature and Leg, Dan die Kart, Zuruk, Oder of Deinen Freithof, Bemannen ein. Any good? Is that any good? Look how long the description is in German, and then in English. When it attacks, creature that crews it explores. I was wondering that. It's so... Lord of the Rings is like a 3-hour movie in English, huh? Is it like 9 hours long when in German? Must be. How do they actually do like dub, German dubs? Because the words are all longer. You don't have enough time to fit in the text or the sentence. They literally just speak faster. Alright, is this good, chat? I'm actually a bit of a... I think vehicles are underrated, kind of, but also I think that vehicles that only do something when they attack are actually a bit of a scam. Definitely way worse. I'll definitely be trying this, but I don't know, bit dicey. I ain't saying that. The curator of Sun's creation. She is a mensch and a handwanker, though. Human artificer, whenever you discover again for the same value, triggers only once each turn. Okay. A bit drafty, that card. Reaper Claw Raptor. 3 mana Dino. Whenever a player casts a spell, if it's not their turn, deal 4 damage to that player. Seems awful. Anti-Gandalf card? It's not really an anti-Gandalf card, is it? You know, the Gandalf will simply cast spells on their own turn. Be good against a bronze tier Gandalf, though. That means no counters. That people don't play that many counters. This is bad, guys. Don't get your hopes up. You will not have this in your deck. I promise you will not have this. Suck it, blue. Based John. I hate blue, man. Poor Laya. She doesn't even believe her own statement here. Starts off by saying, this is really good. And then, before she's even finished, she's already kind of cutting it back. Okay, it's pretty powerful, I suppose. Next sentence will be, this is, yeah, it's mid, I guess. Sentence 4, okay. I admit it's pretty bad. I can put bad cards in my deck if I want. You can. I do not believe this dino makes a cut. Most of the dinos so far have actually been pretty good, though. Well, maybe not most, because like there's a lot of commons and stuff, but I think there's been 3 decent dinos so far. Queen's Bay Paladin. Queen's Bay Paladin. That is an AI-generated card name. Creature Vampire Knight. Whenever Queen's Bay Paladin enters the battlefield or attacks, return up to 1 target vampire card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. You lose life equal to its mana value. Okay, well, I mean, he's gas, isn't he? So bad? No, that's not bad, man. That's good. I think he's good. Oger Pack Patik. Deepest Epoch. 4/3 flyer. Whenever you cast an instant spell from your hand, it gains rebound. Okay, pretty good. When it dies, transform it into add a blue, remove a time counter. 3 transform if you've got no time counters. I don't know. Could be good if you're playing like blue-red. And you like rebound your burn spells. But 4 mana is just a lot of mana for a creature in a deck like that, though. It's just to like, I don't know. Just don't really like it, to be honest. Too much mana. 4 mana cards have to be so good because of this no rotating standard, huh? Is this good? Not really, man. I don't think so. Sadly, I don't think so. Remember that this is something that we have to learn to accept, huh? Like, the new sets now will be less exciting than they have been before, because we've got a bigger standard, so like less of the cards will be good enough now. Like only about half the cards, right, that we would normally see in play, we'll see play now. because with no rotation. So you've just got these new cards just have so many more cards that they have to be better than now than they wouldn't have in the past. And like even if standard had rotated, I'm still not sure this is that good. But without a rotation, this is not going to make the cut, man. Like barely any 4-mana cards see play in standard, and the ones that do are all like just so insanely good, huh? A Zendikar that ramps to 3 different 7-mana cards. Wandering Emperor, Shelly, Airtie. That's about the only 4 drops that see play. This is not as good as those 4 cards. That's how good they have to be. Braided Net. ETB 3 net counters. Remove a net counter. Tap a pleb. Activated abilities cannot be activated for as long as it remains tapped. Craft with Artifact 2 into the Braided Quipu. Draw a card for each artifact you control, then put Braided Quipu into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. Like this card could honestly cost like 1 mana. Why the hell does it cost 3? Dooloo. Kite Sail Larcenist. 2 and a blue for Human Pirate. Flying, Ward 1. We know Ward 1's pretty good. When Larcenist enters the battlefield, for each player, choose up to 1 target artifact or creature that player controls. For each player, choose up to 1 artifact or creature that player controls. Okay. For as long as Kitesail Larcenist remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts and lose all other abilities. I mean, this thing's mega gas, no? Mid? What do you mean mid? This thing's crazy. It doesn't remove the thing, just abilities. No, it does remove them, does it not? Isn't it? This is just the same text as Vraska. Right? Vraska. Target creature becomes a treasure artifact with blah 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 blah. The chosen permanents become treasure artifacts with blah 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 blah. Yeah, they turn back into creatures if this dies, yes, but how do they stay creatures? Lose all other card types and abilities. Lose all abilities, but not card types. I see. Okay, well then it's definitely less good. Well, that just means it's awful then, huh? Sadly. Because I was thinking that you could play like maybe Epicure, maybe the new blue Epicure, something like that, right? And then you turn your artifact into a treasure, and you turn their biggest creature into a treasure, right? And then you can kind of use, as long as you use the treasure immediately, like even if this thing dies, it's still like a huge kind of tempo swing for a bit, which is you can use to your advantage. But If they just get to keep their creature, I mean, it's not that good, is it? Because they don't even have to fucking kill this, right? They can just leave it in play, because it doesn't actually do anything. How do they not keep a creature? We've just established that the text is different. The chosen permanents become treasure artifacts and lose all other abilities. Vraska, which does actually make them a treasure. Creature becomes a treasure and loses all other card types and abilities, right? So this makes it this makes them stop being a creature. The blue card doesn't say this. The containment. Huh? It's not in standard? I thought that card... That's the white removal spell, right? I thought that was pretty recent. Oh, it's Baldur's Gate. Ah, I see. Permanent is a treasure artifact and it loses all other abilities. I see it says on this, if it was a creature, it's no longer a creature. And so it does stop being... Well then, in that case, it is good, right? This guy? Just as long as you're playing... You need like oh my god, what's that? I keep forgetting what it's called, man. Yeah, you need like epicures, harvesters in your deck, right? Because you don't want to turn your creatures into treasures. You also don't want to turn artifacts that you've paid mana for into treasures either. Yeah. So there's Epicure, there's also the new blue Epicure. But yeah, this guy is gas then, right? Mega gas. Because it's a symmetrical effect, but it's way better in your deck. You don't have to do it on your stuff. Well, you do have to do it on your stuff, right? Or else you shouldn't have it in your deck. So you should have cards like Epicure in the same deck as this. Yeah, use it on map token, blood token. Artifact or creature, huh? That card's trash? It's not trash, man. It's definitely good. I mean, Epicure and the new blue one that makes a map token are definitely best too, but maybe some other stuff. Blood Fountain, I guess you can use it, but Blood Fountain's just not that good. It's good with yoink cards too, yeah, but we need a 1-mana yoink, man. Definitely interesting. Very, very good, I think. Restless Anchorage. 4 to use it. 2/3 white and blue flyer. When it attacks, make a meow. Seems okay. What's a map token? Map token is pay 1 to make one of your creatures explore. Helping Hand. Dub sorcery. Return creature card with mana value 3 or less. What the hell? Pretty good. They keep pushing these types of cards. Well, of course, man. Not like normally they're not good, right? Because normally they cost 2, and well, you can get a 3-drop back for 2, and you kind of net 1 mana. It's just not that 1 mana saved in some games is not worth the card that you've lost in other games, right? Because sometimes you just have this 2 mana shit in your hand, but nothing in the graveyard. The trade-off from game to game is just not worth it. But when it costs 1, you know, and you're getting to save 2 mana, then maybe those games that you do get stuck with it in your hand for a while, maybe that trade-off does start to be worth it, huh? I mean, this card is obviously good. Whether you put it in your deck or not, that's another question, though. Best card in the set so far? Yep, one of them. One of them for sure. It's just not really. It's like this type of card is not. It's not really a standard card, huh? Like this is a historic card. I'm sure you can use it in standard, but it'll be much less impactful. You do have Unearth in historic, yeah, but it's different color, right? Like you can play this in the green-white combo creature combo decks, I suppose. This one. Like Kethis, you would still play the black one if you want this, but not much else to say on it, chat. I mean, this is obviously good. The best use for these kind of cards are in creature combo decks. You don't get many of those in standard, so you probably would be playing it fairly in standard. If you're playing it fairly, I mean, it's really, really good, obviously, if you actually get to use it, but a lot of the time in standard, it'll just be in your hand for a little bit too long on average for it to be useful. But we will try it for sure. Brass's Tunnel Grinder. ETB, discard any number of cards, draw that many cards, +1. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, put a boar counter on the Tunnel Grinder. Then if there are 3 or more boar counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. Quick maths! Whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by Ixalan, the Searing Rift, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. Wow, that's pretty good. So this flips what? 2 turns after you cast it? Or 2... Oh, it's like 3 end steps, 2 turns. Bum, 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 bum. Don't know, man. Seems fine as a one-off. In what deck, man? Like, red just has no cards in it. This is a mid-range card, right? Red just only has aggro cards now. Grixis, you can't play Grixis, man. Grixis can't remove an enchantment. So Grixis is actually the only unplayable colour combo in all of Standard, to be honest. Teamer? Yeah, I know, man, but like the Teamer... Bro, there's no red cards for a deck like Teamer. Your Teamer deck will be Simic, splash that artifact. You literally won't have a single other red card in it. There's nothing. What red card you gonna play? Question Druid, you can't play in mid-range decks, man, because your cards are too expensive, right? You're gonna activate the Druid and not be able to cast the cards. You can't play Question Druid in a blue deck. Jund? You could play this in Jund, yeah, but again, you won't have any red cards in your Jund deck, man. Like look at the red cards. Like what cards are you gonna play in your grindy mid-range deck? None. Streamer's too smart. I mean, red is an amazing color in Standard right now, but I mean, you gotta be honest with reality, right? The cards are all. It's amazing because it's got a lot of good aggressive cards. There's nothing. There ain't nothing for mid-range. I mean, you can play a sideboard Brotherhood's End. There you go, that's your entire red contribution. Scoundrel is okay, yeah, I suppose. Scoundrel's okay, but that's not enough reason to play red, right? Because we lost Fable, which means we also lost Harvester, right? So there's no red cards, man. There's no reason to play any red removal spells because you'll either have black and you play those ones, or you have white and you play those ones. So there's just red just contributes nothing. No value cards, it doesn't contribute any mid-range creatures, it doesn't contribute any removal, it doesn't contribute any counters, it doesn't contribute any discard, it doesn't contribute anything. It's just not, it's unplayable mid-range colour. And this is a mid-range card. If there does end up being more mid-range red cards, then I could see you trying this, maybe. Red is the new green? That's not true, because red aggro is still really, really good, right? Mono red is very strong. I feel like Gruul will be very strong now, because Gruul was already pretty good, I think. But now it's got a creature land as well, and some good new cards too. Red aggro, very good. Red control, very bad. Red mid-range, very bad. I've never understood what mid-range even means in Magic. For me, it just means a bit of everything, right? You know? If your deck is mid-range if your strategy for the individual game depends on what opponent is doing, right? You know? If you're playing a deck and then you queue into ramp and you find yourself playing aggressively, and then you queue into mono red aggro and you find yourself playing control-y, then your deck's mid-range. You are the adapter, you are the chameleon. And that's why it's the best archetype. Just simply beat everything. Easy clap. Compass Gnome. ETB, search a library for a basic land card or cave card, reveal it, shuffle it, put it on top. Ugh. Ugh, disgusting. Combo is better. Combo is nice too, yeah. Inti, the Sun's Caretaker. 1 red, legendary creature, human knight. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. Start again. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. Okay? Thank you. When you do, put a counter on an attacking creature. This is whenever you attack with anything, right? So even though this doesn't have haste, you'll still get this ability with your 1-drop or whatever. When you do, put a counter on target attacking creature. That creature gains trample until end of turn. When you discard 1 or more cards, exile the top card of your library. You may replay that card until the end of your next... Until that... Play that card until your next end step. This guy sucks. Sorry, chat. I've saved you 4 rare wild cards. This is an Opers. It's terrible on curve. It's just terrible always, man. It's terrible on... It's bad on turn 2, right? Because even though you get the trigger, you can't discard a card to get no effect. You're not even going to get to play the thing. On turn 3, If you're playing it on turn 3, it's bad. Because you've only got 1 mana left. If you played it on turn 2 and then you're attacking on turn 3, it's also bad, right? Because you want to attack, discard a card, and get the effect. But that means that you don't know what card you're going to draw. So you can't really spend any of your mana pre-combat, so you can't play any other hasters before you attack. It's so awkward, right? You have to actually play, you have to play passively to make this do anything. It's not what you want your deck to do, right? Isn't this insane? Nah, this card is terrible. Like, really bad. In mono red, anyway. I mean, I don't know where else you would use it. Mono, like a Rakdos aggro, you can't really do it either, I don't think. Is it you can't do it because you could hit counters. It's shit. You get to use it until next turn. No, you only get to use it until your next end step. So you only get to use the card that you hit, sorry, until on that one turn. This is really, really, really bad. Finally, a good new 2-drop knight. That's cap. Huge combo trigger. Combo card. Right, I guess so, but wouldn't call it huge. Alright, clueless comments. I thought it was next turn. That's very bad on curve. This thing is just bad always. It's bad unless you've got 5 mana or more, it's bad, right? Because it's awful with any... If you have any cards in your deck that have haste, it's shit. And your whole deck has haste. So, GG. Well, it won't be good in mid-range either, because you can't use the effect until, well, not only do you need to fill your entire deck with cards that are good always, right? So, you know, no counter spells, no go for the throats, no anything like that. Because what if you hit them and you can't cast them? You've just literally just discarded a card from your hand. You need to attack before you make a land drop. You need to be able to... You can only attack and actually use the effect if you've got enough lands already in play that you can cast every spell in your deck. So your whole deck's going to be like 1, 2, or 3 mana. You need to have no hasters, no counters, no removal spells, no nothing. It's shit. Absolutely terrible. This may be... The only place I can see this even being possibly usable is like maybe Boros, where most of your creatures are white, so barely any of them have haste. And like a really like aggressive 1, 2, and 3-drop Boros deck, maybe. You only use the second effect. First one is just a bonus. What do you mean you only use the second effect? You're not forced to discard. No, you're not forced to discard, man. I am forced to discard because I ain't playing this card unless I'm discarding every fucking time. Because I'm not a clown. Why the hell would you play this card if you're not going to discard every time? The card is only bad if you use its effect, yes. True. I think they mean you play other discard cards. Like, when? When? Chat, I promise you, if you craft this card, you're wasting your resources. I've offered my advice. That's all I do. I'm not gonna police whether you craft it or not. You can do it if you like, but I'm just offering my advice. Very, very bad. Malamet Warscribe. Seems draftish to me. Defossilize. Return creature from graveyard to battlefield. Explore twice. Seems bad. Dino creature land. When it attacks, a different creature gets +2/+0. Untap that creature. This plus Ruby. Ruby? It's called Ruby, right? Ruby wants 4 power though, and this has 3 power, which is a bit sad, but 3/4 is still nice stats though. Because there's just so many fucking 3/3s. Yeah, I mean Gruul is already good, man. We played a Gruul deck on stream at the start of the set, did really well. And obviously now with the creature land, Gruul's better. So I'm excited to try some Gruul. Also, 3 mana 6/6 seems like quite a good card for a Gruul deck. And they get the new 1 mana green creature too. That could be good. We'll see. Gruul could be nice. You got Monstrous Rage, you got Audacity, you got good mana dorks. You got good removal now with the Frenzy. Gruul's just nice, man. 5 mana, counter artifact or creature, discover X, where X is the mana value. Five mana counter. This is I mean, we're lucky it's artifact or creature, because if this was counter any spell, it would be the best card in the game by far. It's like Gale's Intervention, innit? In standard, man. It would be absolutely busted. But it's even better than Gale's though, because you kind of roll a 12 every time, right? It's like this one. This is pack 1, pick 1 cube card. So if this was in standard, it would be OP. Or you roll a 15 each time, I suppose. But luckily it's only creatures and artifacts though. So it's nowhere near as good as this, right? You can't counter... I don't know, you can't counter virtues, you can't counter herd migrations... Whatever else you'd want to counter. Artifact or creature. Sideboard, I don't know. Like, sideboard against what, man? If you're gonna play it, it'll be in the sideboard, yeah, but I just don't think there's any... Because it's not even that good against ramp, right? Because they've just got too many top-end cards that don't get countered by this. It's too expensive for Esper Legends, right? It needs to be a mid-range. But use it against a mid-range deck or ramp deck where all of their top end is artifacts and creatures, but I just don't think such a deck exists. Sideboard again, but that's what I mean. I don't think it's good against ramp, man. But like, this is a great card against the right opponent, but there is no opponent to use it against in this meta, but maybe the meta will change, Cropium. Like if Esper mid-range type decks, like maybe if they cut Virtue and play a creature as a 5-drop, then it's really good, right? Because you've got lots of 3-mana creatures, 4s and 5s to counter. Like, that's the kind of deck you want to use it against. We'll see. Temple Bell. 3-mana artifact, tap, each player draws a card. What? The Fist of Suns. You may pay Wuggerburgurgurg rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you play. Titsana's Tidebinder. 3-mana, 3/2 flash. Good start. ETB, counter up to 1 activated or triggered ability. If an artifact, creature, or planeswalker's ability is countered this way, that permanent loses all abilities until Tidebinder leaves the battlefield. Counter a target activated or triggered ability. This is shit. Makes a planeswalker useless. I mean, planeswalkers are already useless, man. Yeah, this is not it's not a standard card. I don't even think it's a historic card, man, because the 3-mana fish in historic are already better than this. Maybe sideboard card in fish, yeah, maybe, but no shot, this isn't good. It doesn't fucking do anything, man. It doesn't do anything. It stops Shelly until this is removed, no? Come on. It makes Shelly a 4/5 with no text. Yeah, only a 4/5, huh? It's like, you know, it's like Frodo taking on the mountain, man. Take the mountain's sword. You're still just gonna get fucking bitch slapped by his massive fist. What the hell? You can use this against Shelly. What are you talking about? counters Crater Hoof in Elves. What the hell am I reading, man? I mean, countering a fetch land, that's good. But this is not like... This is just, I don't know. Yeah. Counter attracts ETB, yeah, sure. This is a 4-color ramp killer. How the hell is it a ramp killer, man? How? Counter a leyline binding. Yeah, surely there's no other way to counter a leyline binding. Totally original effect. Yeah, you can counter their dino, right? With the 3 mana 4/4. It won't bring a land into play, but sadly it does mean the dino will be able to attack for the rest of the game. 4-color ramp killer. People with hats don't understand these kind of cards. The fuck has my hat got to do with anything? Lurking Bat. 1 mana 1/1 flying lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, then scry 1. Seems bad. What is descend? Descend is have a permanent card go into your graveyard this turn. Nurturing Bristle. What the hell is this art, man? What the fuck is this? That's not magic art. That is like AI Planet Earth. What the hell is this? David Attenborough ass art, man. I don't understand this chat. This is like, that is not a Magic the Gathering card art. It just looks so wrong. ETB, create a 3/3 dino token. I mean, terrible, right? Dogshit Conservator. Artifact creature known. Sacrifice or exile up to 4 target cards from a single graveyard. Activate only as a sorcery. When it dies, you may pay 4. If you do, discover 4. Seems bad. I'm really not sure I understand the Ixalan interpretation of what a gnome is. Magic interprets gnomes as a kind of short humanoid construct or automaton. Huh. That's nice. What is a gnome, man? Good question. What is a gnome? Ah! The Belligerent. 4 mana vehicle, crew 3, 5/5. When it attacks, create a treasure. Until end the turn, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. This is gas, no? This is mega gas. It's like an aggro frenzy, right? That ramps. Treasure and play off the top of your deck on a 5/5. Pretty damn good. Dodges go for the throat too, right? I think this is nice, man. I think this is nice. Pretty weird colors, though, for this type of card. Blue-red. This is very meh. How is it good? No, this is good, man. That's true. You can crew this with the one drop, right? Turn 4 do nothing? How is it turn 4 do nothing, man? It doesn't come into the battlefield tapped. I think this is good. Treasure and play lands and spells off the top. You got to remember, it's in colors that have no good 4 mana cards. So, I think this is nice. I believe this is nice. I just said red isn't a mid-range color. Well, it's not a mid-range color until we get mid-range cards. Bum 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 bum. I mean, I will definitely be playing this. Comes online too late for most decks that want it, especially in those colours. Yeah, the colours are a bit scuffed, but we can maybe make it work. Hmm. Very interesting one, that one. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof. Each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof. Alright, this is shit. It's a skipper. They stole this from a Yu-Gi-Oh card. What? The rarity colours are hard to see in this set, at least for online images. So true, so true. Not mythic, just thick. That's nice. That's a good comment. Not mythic, just thick. Confounding riddle. 2 and a blue for an instant. Choose one. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. Alright. Classic new card, which is just reprint but slightly buffed. Will they ever print an actually new card ever again? Now people will play this card though, for sure. But it's just a counter. Whatever. Destroy creature enchantment planeswalker. Its controller creates 2 map tokens. Gas. How is this gas, man? Good versus decks that don't play creatures. There are no decks that don't play creatures. It's a lot better than Fateful Absence, at least. Do you know what else is better than Fateful Absence, man? A kick in the balls. You know my feelings on cards like this, chat. You know my feelings. This is unplayable. Your feelings don't matter. This is gas. It's not gas, man. Like, bro, this destroys enchantments too. I don't fucking care, man. I don't fucking care. What? You're completely missing the point of removing stuff if you're willing to do it and give opponent resources. You can't, like, what is the point in removing one resource and then giving them another resource? Like, you haven't achieved anything. This is trash. White has trouble removing planeswalkers. Yeah, and you know what? You're gonna have trouble removing the next planeswalker that they cast after you let them fucking explore twice. What the hell? I hear you, man, but for real, this card is pure gas. It's not the... This card is shit. It's 0 out of 10, man. Like, Magic the Gathering is a game of finite resources, and what type of communist ass fucker gives your opponent resources for no reason? You tap your lands to give them resources. What are you, a fucking idiot? Make your opponent tap their lands to get the resources. What are you giving them resources for? So is Swords to Plowshares bad as well? No. I can't wait for you to lose to this. Well, of course I'll lose some games to this, yeah. Because bad Magic cards don't have 0% win rate. They have less than 50. But more than 0. It's just not, that's not how the game works. With that logic, why would you ever use a bounce spell? Well, you don't really use bounce spells, do you? But bounce spells are very rarely used. Like maybe Fade and Hope in mono blue just because they don't have it. They don't play that because it's good. They play it because they don't have any other options. It's just the only one they can play. Brazen Borrower, if you go back a couple of years, maybe a 1 of or a 2 of in some decks, but also just because it's attached to another card, right? It's not a, you're not 2 for 1 in yourself, you're 2 for 2 in when you bounce their thing and then play your creature. It's like, bounce cards are not good. You shouldn't be playing them unless you absolutely have to. Divide by Zero was Pog, though? No, it wasn't, man. Divide by Zero is also a bad card. It was just abusable with Lear, right? It just got around Lear's kind of one-sided, or it got around Lear's downside, right? By just a word confusion. But without Lear doing it, Divide by Zero, one, it wouldn't have been played. It certainly wouldn't have got banned. The card Divide by Zero, the card itself is shit. But also, even it is one of the better bounce spells, and it's still bad, right? It's one of the better ones because at least you get to draw a card. It was kind of similar to Brazen Borderer in a way, I suppose. How is forcing an opponent to recast a spell bad? Well, it is bad if that's all you do, man. This card is gas. Next, please. This card will not be in any decks. So clueless. Reprieve is huge. Yeah, but they like... These are not fair. Reprieve is... It draws a card, man. It draws a card. Play this in ramp. Well, it's the same thing as Fateful Absence, right? Where the only way it can possibly be good is if you end the game before they can click the button. Which not many decks can do, right? It would be at the extreme end of the spectrum for sure. Either like a very fast aggro deck or an uber go over the top. But Soldiers wants this. Nah, Soldiers is not fast enough to use this, man. It's not. Soldiers is not really an aggro deck. It's like a disruptive tempo deck, right? Soldiers is more like rogues, man. If you're playing this in Soldiers, your opponent will have the time to click the buttons, and then it's really bad. Ramp maybe, like mono white aggro maybe, but not Soldiers or anything like that. It's good in a tempo deck. It's not good in a tempo deck, man. It's terrible in a tempo deck. The conclusion is that this card is Pog. Let's move on. This card is not Pog. This card is not Pog. This card is bad. It's not bad. It's way better than Fateful Absence. Yeah. Bro, in the same way that, like, getting stabbed is better than actually getting murdered. True, but they both suck, bozo. Technically true, but also realistically false. Wedding Ring. 2 dub-a-dub. Commander ass card, huh? Colossus Hammer. Also Commander ass card. Whisper Silk Cloak. Commander. Amalia Benavides Aguirre. How do you say this? This is it Aguirre? Aguirre? Is that right? Aguirre? A weird. Right, it's a Wibba for a legendary creature, Vampire Scout. Pay 3 life on a 2-drop is pretty good. I mean, it's very good. Whenever you gain life, Amalia explores. Then destroy all other creatures if Amalia's power is exactly 20. This is a wombo combo card, huh? But also just good in an aggro deck too. Doesn't this combo with the with the walker. Whenever a creature explores, gain life. Whenever you gain life, explore. It's infinite combo. 2-card infinite wombo combo. And you get what? You get infinite life, infinite explores, and your Amalia will get to 20 power at some point, and then you just attack them. Because they've just, all their creatures are dead. It will destroy the... I get... Oh no, it's not infinite, because the Wild Growth Walker will die once Amalia gets to 20 power. True. True. But still good, right? You gain what? At least... Well, not at least 54. You'll gain more than 54 life. I mean, you're gonna win, right? Obviously. So I guess it doesn't really matter, but... Are there any creatures that like make a token when you gain life? Or something like that? Yeah, so like obviously this has combo potential, but it's also just a good creature, no? I mean, like Ward to pay 3 life is crazy, man. It gets to attack 1.5 times if opponent even tries to kill it. Mad. Only infinite if top card is a spell. What? No. It's infinite. It's always or not infinite, but you always get your Amalia to 20 power, right? Because you will just draw the lands, whatever lands are on top, you will just draw them, right, until there's a spell, and then once there's a spell there, then your next set of 18 triggers will get it to 20. 1 second, chat. I shall be right back. I mean, this is just good everywhere, man. This is good in creature combo, it's good in aggro, it's just good. Might even be good in like a mid-range deck, right? If your deck's gaining life. It's just a good ass creature. Vampire is also a decent creature type. Isn't this good in Esper? Maybe, man, yeah. Maybe. You got Shelly, you got Denick, you got Emperor, you got... I don't know, whatever else. Black Virtue, you can play with this. It's just good in basically every deck, man. It's nice. Captain Storm, Plunderer of Cosmium. Plunderer of Cropium. Human Pirate, Artifact ATB, put a counter on a pirate. No thanks. The Pit of Offering. ETB tapped. When it enters the battlefield, exile 3 cards from graveyards. Make colorless or mana of any color among the exiled cards. Hey, honestly, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm surprised that this is an uncommon, yeah. Very surprised. I guess the issue is that it's a tap land that you can't play on turn 1, huh? So that is mega awkward. I mean, you can play it on turn 1, but whatever. Stalactite Stalker. Goblin Rogue. New Gobble. Begin of end step, if you descended this turn, put a counter on Stalker. Menace. For 3, creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the power. I mean, this thing sucks. Descend is you descend if a permanent card goes into the graveyard on your turn. Goes into the graveyard from the battlefield. I don't think it has to be from the battlefield. This into teachings. Yeah, but that's just not that. It's not that good, man. You've got a 2/2. I don't know. The problem, like, this thing needs to be. You kind of need to descend twice, right, for this to be good, and you kind of need to descend on turn 2 and turn 3, and that's not that easy, man. It's really not that easy to do. There are some good cards that can descend on 2. There are some good cards that can descend on 3, but it's quite hard to have enough of them to do it twice. Teachings, yeah, that's one card. What are the other 5? Like, how do you get the other 5 cards that descend on 2 and 3 into your deck without making your deck bad? Without, like, just decreasing your card quality by a lot just for a random 1-drop. I don't think this is that good, man. Alright, like, this card is good. I do not think there will be a good deck with this in it. There's just there are not enough cards that self-mill. That are like a S tier quality. There's a lot of Bs, there's a lot of As, but there's not enough S tier cards, right? You've got Teachings. To be honest, Teachings is the only S tier one. Aminket's pretty good, Ren's pretty good, Rusty's pretty good, but Tyvar's pretty good. But if you put all of these cards in the same deck, your deck's going to be bad. And that's the problem, right? If you want to play this creature, every 2-drop that's not a counter or a removal has to descend. Every 3-drop that's not a counter or a removal has to descend. It's too limiting on your deck, man. your card quality will go down by too much. The throne that mills one every turn is not in standard anymore, sadly. Egon. He is nice though. He would be very nice. I don't believe in this chat. I very much believe in the kind of archetype that this card goes in. But I don't think we can quite make the deck yet. Teachings, Amonkhet, Slogurk, Tortoise. Slogurk's a payoff. It's not a miller. That's what I mean. You can't have any other payoffs, man. There's not enough space because you have a deck or you don't have a deck. You can't play Slogurk and this in the same deck. You either won't have enough removal or enough counters or enough mill cards or enough lands. There's no space. This is probably better than Slogurk, though. It's quite nice to upgrade Slogurk to this, but I still think the deck would be bad. Especially if you have to play 3 colors, which you probably will. But you just end up making your deck like bad, right? Like these cards are all decent, but they're not. There's no need to play a deck like this. You can just play like some of these, right? And some other even better cards, and your deck will be better. It's that do be the problem. Tyvar doesn't work because you won't have enough creatures for Tyvar, but you see the problem, huh? You see the problem. Well, if you just want to play different decks, well then this conversation is not for you, right? We're not... You're a useless part of this conversation. We're trying to discuss whether these cards will be good in really good decks or not. If you're just going to play any card in any deck, then that's an absolutely fine way to play Magic, and I respect your choices, but this is not a conversation for you. You could just apply that to every single card that we see, right? And that just makes the whole card review completely pointless. Goblin Rogue, though? Yeah, Goblin Rogue is good types. Soul Coil Viper. Return creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality card on it. Bad. Staunch crewmate. 2/1 pirate for 2. ETB, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or a pirate and put it into your hand. What? Insane gas? What the hell is this thing? It's crazy. It's a good one. It draws the boat. True. You're going to miss a lot of times. I've got a bit of a deck building secret for you, mate. How about you only put this in your deck if you're not going to miss a lot of times? 5-head? Simply apply mathematics to your deck building. The flavor text is, leave you behind, no way, you still owe me money. Yeah, I suppose in draft, if you can get a lot of copies of those, right, they can draw them. Can they draw themselves? Any artifact or pirate. Yeah, that's nice, man. That is nice. Pienturi Mural Dimitri. And Manufacture Dimitri. When it enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 golem artifact creature token. Asleep. These craft things are so expensive, man. Alright, this one is mega gas. Sunken Citadel. ETB tapped. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color. 2, add 2 mana of the chosen color. This mana can only be used for activating abilities of land sources. I'm thinking Merrex. I'm thinking creature lands. This is an amazing land for the 3-color decks that don't have triomes, right? So Sultai, Abzan, Jeskai, Temur, and whatever the other one is. Because those 3-color decks need to have lots of creature lands and Merrexes already anyway, so you're not adding more. Chris Walker, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Mardu, yes, Mardu. This will be played for sure if any of those 3-color decks are good, which they should be. Who's the artist on this one? Matteo Bassini, I think it says. I think this is very good. 3-color decks without triomes. I don't know, like, what about 2-color decks? Do 2-color decks want this? Don't know. Probably not. Terror Tide. 4-mana sorcery. Creatures get -X/-X, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Seems okay. So you need this to be a languish on curve, huh? You need a deck that has 4 permanents in the graveyard by turn 4. I guess that's not that many decks. Yeah. Maybe not that good actually, but should be okay. Palani's Hatcher. 5-mana Gruul Dino. Other dinos have haste. ETB make 2 egg tokens. A beginning of combat on your turn. Turn an egg into a 3/3. Wait, this guy's nasty, man. 8/6 on 2 bodies, and you make another body the turn after. 8/6, 3/3 of haste, 2 bodies, threaten to make another body. He's strong, man. Strong. 8/7. Well, it's not an 8/7 because you can't use the egg. You need to use the egg to make another dino the following turn. Can't attack with it or block with it, so it doesn't exist until the next turn. Three booty is bad. Yeah, immediate 3/3 haster, yeah. I mean, this thing's good, man. Only one egg can be sacked at a time. Yeah, but you get to sack one egg on the turn that you play it though, and then you sack your second egg on the next turn. So it's very good against single target removal, this guy, right? Most removal spells are single target. Well, at least it's very good against single target removal if they don't kill it for combat anyway. What other... So Gruul... 5-mana Gruul cards, huh? No other ones are coming to mind, so it surely must be the best one. Yeah, these are all trash, huh? Luca, I guess, is okay, but not that good in an actual, like, kind of gruely deck, though. Yeah, it seems better than everything else, so it should be worth a try, I think. Don't know, like, most of the time your gruel deck doesn't actually want any 5 mana cards, but I think you should still try it. Especially if there are some other decent dinos to play. Which might not be the case, but it might be. Poetic Ingenuity. Whenever one or more dinosaurs you control attack, create an equal number of treasure tokens. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 3/1 dino token. This ability triggers once per turn. What? Whenever you cast an artifact, create a 3/1 dino. Mecha dinos? Are you like, what? How do you use this card? I guess you don't actually put any dinos in your deck, right? It's for a full artifact deck. What rarity is this? This is a rare, man. A weird card. Wandering Throne. Okay, we've seen this one. Give me a quick F5. Any new cards? F5, please. No. Very interesting, chat. Very interesting. Ecuador! Ecuador!